All right. That was a really rough game to watch if you're a Utah Jazz fan. If you're a Wolves fan, there's some things to be excited about. If you're a Jazz fan, we're not. This is the Hoops Nerd postgame show. Guys, that was a nice win for the Minnesota Timberwolves. There's some things. We'll talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves first, then we'll talk about the Utah Jazz. The Wolves are... Oh, I just realized I have my headphones on. Let's take these off. The Wolves are a well-coached basketball team all of a sudden. There was a play at the beginning of this game. There's this play the Utah Jazz run that gets Rudy Gobert an easy bucket every single game. And they usually do it once a game, maybe once or twice. What it is, it's kind of a handoff screen play that Rudy kind of gets a quick, easy pass, and he rolls through the baseline and gets a bucket. It's something the Jazz do probably, like I said, once or maybe twice a game at most, but usually like once a game they'll do it for 2 quick, easy points to get Rudy Gobert on the board and get him going. Tonight, for the first time I've seen it in a while, and it was at the beginning of the game, the Timberwolves blew it up. I think it was in like the second quarter. The Wolves just blew it up. They knew it was coming, and that to me was a sign that this Timberwolves team has the right coach. I forgot his name. It's like Finch or something like that. He came from, let me know, Wolves fans in the comments. But he's the one who came mid-season kind of immediately from the Toronto Raptors, I believe. And, having not seen a lot of Wolves games this season, watching them tonight against the Jazz, that was a sign to me that this Wolves team is a team that has a coach that gets them prepared for games. If you're a Wolves fan, that's actually something to be excited about. He's getting this Wolves team ready to go. And if you're a Wolves fan, that's nice to know that you've got a coach that at the very least has you ready to go. The other thing is that the D'Angelo Russell has been injured for a lot of this season for the Wolves, and he's back, and he looked nice against the Jazz tonight. D'Angelo Russell tonight was, let's see, I've got an advanced stats up to show something else that the Jazz failed at. But let's pull this up. D'Angelo Russell, like I said, and he's a guy that the Jazz looked at this year. I had heard from some people. Mike Conley was the Jazz first choice, a season and a half ago when they were trying to get that guard to replace Ricky Rubio. Tonight, obviously, reminder about Ricky Rubio playing the Wolves. But their backup was D'Angelo Russell, and the Utah was prepared to give him, pull out the Brink truck if they didn't get Mike Conley. But tonight, let's see. Gosh, can I just pull this up? D'Angelo Russell goes 8 for 18 from the field, only 3 for 10 from 3, but he was a +9 in the game. And I feel like 8 for 18, that's pretty decent. He came off the bench too. So Wolves fans, let me know why he's coming off the bench. I have my own assumptions, but part of that was I think they just like playing Rubio to start, and maybe you get a little defense from him. But I'd rather see D'Angelo Russell play. I felt like he played really nice. He played more minutes than Rubio, 30 minutes off the bench. 1 assist, 3 rebounds, but he hit some big buckets in the end of the game, and he scored 23 for the Wolves. Towns was only 1 point better, who led the team in scoring, and Anthony Edwards scored 23. At some point, the Wolves are going to have to do something about Rubio and have him come off the bench, but it makes you wonder if the front office made some sort of deal with Rubio that he would start. I don't know. Obviously as a Jazz fan, I'm very familiar with Ricky Rubio and what he does. If I'm a Wolves fan, I'd rather have D'Angelo Russell starting and playing, 32 to 36 minutes a night. For example, Karl Anthony Towns plays 37 tonight, and he was solid. He didn't have a big 3-point shooting night tonight, so if anything, the Wolves probably should have scored a little more tonight, but he was 9 for 18 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3. He had 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and he scored 24 points. He munched on Derek Favors tonight. Holy smokes. When Rudy Gobert was off the floor, Karl Anthony Towns ate, and he feasted. And so, that's tough for Utah. But Karl Anthony Towns continues to be kind of what he is. He's a nice offensive player that, at times tonight I felt like he was okay on defense, but he's not someone you're afraid of on the defensive end at all. His shooting is what makes him so lethal. The other guy you got to be excited about if you're a Wolves fan is Anthony Edwards. The guy looked like a first-round +1 pick, honestly. Tonight he was 9 for 19 from the field, but 4 for 10 from 3. He had 5 steals and 4 assists. He had 23 points and was a +5 in a tough close game at the end. He was great. That guy has all the athleticism in the world to be just a game changer for the Timberwolves. And I know that the Timberwolves gave their pick to the I believe it's the Warriors they gave it to for D'Angelo Russell, but I also think it's like top 3 protected. So the Wolves, I don't know where are the Wolves in the standings right now. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Google, for pulling that up for me. Right now, the Wolves are kind of, I'm guessing Wolves fans aren't particularly happy that the Jazz lost to them tonight, but the Wolves are 14th out of 15, and I don't know what the standings are overall. But, you know, they might get that top 3 pick, and if you can combine Anthony Edwards with one of the top 3 guys in this upcoming draft, it's a draft that looks really nice. The Wolves have some nice things going, and if you combine Anthony Edwards, and if they can get that top 3 pick, and I could be wrong, Wolves fans, let me know if I'm talking in ignorance, but you could be getting a top 3 pick in this draft, and then you combine that with Towns and Russell, boof, that's a fun team all of a sudden. Like, that's a really fun team that can win games, not just be fun, but win games. If Anthony Edwards can kind of turn that athleticism into good basketball, that's when talent becomes a star, is when you can have the physical tools combined with athleticism, the skill level, that talent, and that's kind of what I call talent, is just the combination of those different things. If you can translate that to like winning basketball and using it in game to have you win, that's big time stuff. So Wolves fans, you've got a lot of things to be excited about. Anthony Edwards, you got a good coach. It seems like you've got new ownership now with Alex Rodriguez. Isn't it Alex Rodriguez bought the Wolves? I mean, he's got free time now that he's not with Jennifer Lopez anymore. Sorry. I don't know why you'd cheat on Jennifer Lopez, and I don't know why you'd not try to make that work. I don't know, but maybe he can make it work with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't know. I don't know. We'll leave that at that. For the Utah Jazz, what a tough loss. Couple thoughts. If you wanted something to show why Donovan Mitchell is so important, it was this game. The Jazz came out in the first quarter and were lights out. They scored 40 points. After the first quarter, they scored 56 total. I saw online, I think this was like the first game in like 50 games that the Jazz have not scored in triple digits in a game. They could not score the ball, and they just kind of looked lackadaisical on offense. They just looked like they just didn't know at a certain point what to do, because the Timberwolves played with serious energy. Like the Wolves went down 17 and said, nope, we're not giving up. We are like, the fans probably want the Wolves to lose to get that pick. The Wolves players said, nope, we want to win this game. And the Wolves have length and athleticism. One guy that I noticed that started tonight, Jaden McDaniels, who I believe is a rookie, and he was there for the Jazz to take at their pick at the end of the first round, and Utah did not take him. Let's see. We're kind of being not very good this. Yeah, for round 1, pick 28. Utah could have picked Jaden McDaniels. And one of the things about Jaden McDaniels that I can't remember where I read it or heard it, but he is he's one of the league leaders, if not the league leader, in blocks or block percentage from a non-center. He is long and tall. He has length. He does a lot of great things, guys. And the Jazz could have had him, and we didn't. Now, the way things are panning out, it's kind of looking like the Jazz pick is important, although Udoka is injured, because Derek Favors got roasted tonight, guys. Derek Favors at times has looked almost unplayable. Key himself, Quinn got to go. $2. I appreciate the $2, Quinn. Thank you, sir. Or Key. Thank you, Key. No, thank you to Quinn. Thank you, Key. I appreciate it. I don't think I agree in the fact that I do think Quinn's a good coach. I think the players looked, this was embarrassing for the Jazz players on the floor, to be honest, and I'll tell you why in a second. But I appreciate it, Key. Sometimes I do think, why are these Jazz players after 2 days rest not ready to blow the doors off of the Timberwolves? I don't know. I do think the Timberwolves are better now that they have D'Angelo Russell back. Saying that the Timberwolves are just horrible and terrible, well, they played most of the season without D'Angelo Russell. If the Jazz played most of the season without Donovan Mitchell, they would probably struggle. They'd still be a playoff team because, Rudy and Conley, and they have so much shooting on the team, but they would struggle. If you're the Timberwolves and you don't have as much talent as the Jazz in shooting, and you lose your the guy you gave so much up to help you win, you're going to struggle. So I think this is a little bit. This is a bad loss, but I don't think this is like, hit the alert button. I think the Wolves have talent, and D'Angelo Russell is really solid. Let's see. Justin Ty H, my man, 1999. Justin, thank you so much. Tough loss, but I'm not too worried losing these close ones without Donovan. With him, it's a complete different game. Totally agree, by the way, Justin. Totally agree. I was going to actually talk about this. Not only rotation-wise, but his consistency scoring. Also, Derek Favors looks doo-doo. Go Jazz. Yes, we're like, hey, Justin, we think alike. We agree on a lot of things. Also, you're a stud and a gentleman and a scholar, and I appreciate it. You are incredible. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Totally agree with those 2 points. Like we said, D'Angelo Russell didn't play for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they lost a lot of games. And I don't think they would have been, in like a playoff team if D'Angelo Russell was back. Maybe. But they certainly would have won more games. But you're right. Donovan Mitchell is the center of everything for this team. The Jazz played really well in the first quarter, and then they looked lost from the second quarter on, where they only scored 40 points in the first quarter and then 56 points for the rest of the game. Donovan Mitchell is the ladle that stirs this soup. He is the focal point of this Jazz offense, and it finally caught up. This Wolves team switched a lot of these pick and rolls, and the Jazz did pretty well against it, but they didn't have their guy. And when you have teams switching the pick and roll, you've got to have that guy that can like make them pay and make those teams suffer for switching pick and rolls. And Donovan Mitchell is the guy that does that. A night like tonight would have been a night that Donovan would have scored 35 to 40 because he would have scored on this team. He would have gotten those switched pick and rolls, and he would have gone to the rim, and he would have gotten a lot of buckets. And they didn't have it. It's hard to win when you don't have your best player. I'm sorry, tonight I think kind of showed why Donovan Mitchell's so important. Rudy Gobert kept them in this game like he does, but the Jazz just didn't have that guy at the end of the game that puts you over the top. Mike Conley struggled. I really like Mike Conley, but Mike Conley is at a point in his career where he needs to play off of a star, That's why it's so nice with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is the focal point of everything. He is a superstar, guys, and he is playing at a all NBA level, top 15 player level. He just is. Donovan Mitchell is a top 15 NBA player, and I think tonight was a good example of that. If Donovan Mitchell's in this game, it's not even a close game. Vincent Leos, $4.99. Thank you so much, Vincent. I appreciate it. You're amazing. This just shows the impact of Donovan Mitchell's playmaking ability. 100% agree. 100% agree. Because not only do you get Donovan scoring, but Donovan Mitchell is averaging a career high assist this year too, around 4 or 5. I've done too much searching stats tonight as I spit at the screen. But Donovan Mitchell has been incredible, and you're completely right, Vince. You're completely correct. Donovan Mitchell is the Jazz offense. He just is. And the thing that we saw, and kind of going off of Justin's comment from earlier, is the Jazz looked completely lost at the end of this game. What do the Jazz do with 5 minutes left? They put the ball in Donovan Mitchell's hands, and he makes it happen. And everyone plays off of him. Mike Conley can make some things happen, but he is playing off of Donovan Mitchell. He is the secondary option. All of a sudden he becomes the first option, and it's not as easy. It's really nice when you have Donovan Mitchell because Mike Conley can play against second units with Rudy Gobert, and they can really just dominate second unit players. But when you have Mike Conley as the number one option, it's not as easy. And this Jazz team is used to Donovan Mitchell playing at the end of games and getting buckets. He just is. He just does. And he's one of the most clutch players in the league. Like this game with Donovan Mitchell, this isn't even close, to be honest. It's not even close. Key himself, why not give Ellie Faves minutes? Maybe Key, thank you, by the way, Key, for the $2. I really appreciate it. Ersan, I think might be hurt. Well, I guess tonight he wasn't on the injury report, so he didn't play. So that's actually your comment from earlier with the Quinn thing. Why didn't Quinn put Ersan in? I don't know. Probably could have because Favors got torched, guys. Favors tonight was just not great. Favors was a -5. He had 3 fouls, 1 turnover. He did have 2 blocks, which is nice, so give him credit, but 3 rebounds and 2 points. 3 rebounds and 2 points, and he was a -5, and he had 1 turnover. It just wasn't a good night for Favors. And there are nights where Favors just looks so rough. It's rough. And that's why I wish Udoka was healthy, because I wonder if Udoka would have gotten a few minutes. Although the way Quinn does things, I doubt it. I really doubt Udoka would have come in. I mean, you just see how Ersan had a game where he went 5 for 5 from 3 to begin a game against the Lakers, and now he can't get on the floor. I don't know, Key. I really wish the Jazz would have helped you out, I really do. Robert Hall, $2. Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much. Give me some more Trey blown metaphors, Hoopsner. Yeah. The soup ladle is the best I can do tonight. It is the best that I could do tonight because the Jazz just looked really bad and they hurt my feelings. They really did. I actually have to say, DW to CB, play Ersan. You know what? I agree. The Jazz have options. Ersan showed the Jazz that they have options at the center. If Derek Favors is putting up a donut like he did tonight, a big old 7-Eleven pink donut with sprinkles like he did tonight, then you've got to play Ersan. You've got to try something else. It really, really sucks that Udoka got injured like he did. And it was a bad injury. It was really bad. I don't know if he's coming back this year. It was bad. You guys, if you see that, if you've got a weak stomach, don't go look up the highlight, but it was like Hayward-esque almost. And luckily it wasn't broken, but it was a dislocated ankle, I believe, and it was bad. So he's probably out for the year. But guess what? Oh, and actually, you know what? Let's just talk. Can we just talk, guys? Can I just talk to you like you're my friends? Because you're actually my friends. I really enjoy talking to you. By the way, those chats with the All-Stars have been amazing, and we do need to have a Hoops Nerd night at Wingstop, or not Wingstop, Trolley Wingco. It's my favorite restaurant. We got to go some night and just watch a game together. I would really enjoy that because you guys are amazing, and I enjoy talking to you. Now I'm losing my train of thought. But Udoka not playing, that really sucked. We could have seen Udoka playing. Oh, I remembered. I lost my train of thought, but now it's back. I was watching the Spurs the other day. I enjoy watching basketball. And I was just randomly watching a Spurs game. And I was watching Jakob Poeltl. Did you guys know that Jakob Poeltl shoots like 40 to 50% from the free throw line? And he's an important part of that Spurs team. He's an important part of that team. And it made me feel a little bit better about Udoka, because Udoka can do a lot of things for the Jazz when he's healthy. He is big. He is intimidating. He blocks shots. You can't just go at Udoka like a lot of these teams do against Derek Favors, And it just sucks that Udoka can't play. But seeing Jakob Poeltl be an important part of a Spurs team who is playing for like that play-in tournament and is actually a pretty decent team, it gave me a lot of hope for Udoka, that Udoka can be that backup center to Rudy Gobert next season. I just don't know what we get from Derek Favors. Like, Derek Favors needs a couple days of rest, and it sucks that Udoka got hurt, that we can't play Udoka, and that he can't get some run and some experience with this team, because I actually think Udoka could come in and really impact games. I think Quinn would actually play him? Probably not. With the way Quinn does his rotations, he really is not interested in giving minutes to other guys if Derek Favors is available, or if like his rotation guys are available. Quinn just does not go out of that rotation. He really doesn't like to. And I've heard from people that Quinn appreciates knowing what he's going to get from a player rather than not knowing, but then have a player with, a lot of talent kind of do some big things, if that makes sense. Quinn likes to know what he's going to get, and he doesn't know what he's always going to get from someone like Mie Oni. Although Oni has been playing pretty nice, and tonight played pretty nice. Hit a corner three, kind of did some athletic. Like, Mie Oni brings athleticism, and it looks like he can kind of hit that corner three with some consistency, which is nice to see. But he made kind of a bad turnover, and you didn't see him again. So that's how Quinn goes. There's certain guys that can make bad turnovers and it doesn't matter. And then there's some guy like Derek Favors can play like who said it? Doo doo. I think it was Justin. Yeah, Derek Favors can play like doo doo, and he's gonna play next game. It's just gonna happen. So I don't know. That MLE is pretty rough for the Jazz. But anyways, I don't know. I will say, this is what I was going to pull up. The reason the Jazz lost this game is they lost a lot of focus. This was a game they could have won. They really could have won this game. But the Jazz gave up. Here's some things to be a little bit frustrated about, but they're fixable things. The Jazz gave up 23 points off of turnovers tonight. 23 points were scored off of turnovers for the Jazz. 23 points. Whoo! You know how many points the Jazz got off of turnovers tonight? Off of turnovers? 13. So that's a +7 to the Timberwolves off of turnovers. You know how many points the Jazz gave up? And this is according to NBA.com. The Jazz gave up 20 second chance points to the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. 20. That's like 11 offensive rebounds the Timberwolves had tonight. And that resulted in like 20 points. And I guess that could be other things that happened. But you know how many second chance points the Jazz had tonight? 5. 5. The Jazz had 5 points off of second chance opportunities. Woo! That's the game. Sometimes just like care. Do you care? Do you want to win this game, guys? The focus was not there. It was just not. So I think it's two things. One, Donovan Mitchell really, really matters to this team. And two, play like you want to win. Don't play like you deserve to win. Play like you want to win. Go get those rebounds. Go dive for that ball. Don't turn the ball over. Don't make bad passes. I think the thing that has to be mentioned tonight is Jordan Clarkson's shooting percentages have just not gone up enough. Tonight, 3 for 10 from 3, but 5 for 16 from the field. It's been a while since Jordan Clarkson has had a nice game from the field. He's just struggled, and he's got to start moving that ball around. Tonight, Clarkson had, he did have 5 assists, which is good to see. But that ball's just got to move. He's got to play make a little bit more, or he's got to knock down those shots. His game is to get buckets. And so, he didn't get buckets tonight at a clip that you needed to win the game. He just didn't. But you know what? Utah has been able to overcome not having Donovan Mitchell because of Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles has had an incredible season this year. Tonight, he just did not have it. 1 for 9 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3. He did have 7 assists to his credit. And I actually think that the ball should have been in his hands a little bit more, but he had 3 turnovers. And Joe Ingles will have at least one a game. He'll have one turnover a game that is just horrible. Once a game. I love Joe Ingles. He's been insanely good, and he's, him and Jordan Clarkson, if either of them wins the Sixth Man of the Year, I'll be happy because they both kind of deserve it. It's probably going to be Jordan Clarkson. But, man, he'll have one turnover that was really bad. Tonight it was 3. Like those 23 or 20 points or whatever it was, second, points off of turnovers, Joe Ingles was part of that. He just was. And so the Jazz did not get that game from Joe Ingles they normally get, and that was part of the reason they lost tonight. Derek Favors has not been great in Jazz losses. Derek Favors is an important part of this team. The Jazz need Derek Favors to be good. They just do. And when he's not good, it's rough. Joe Ingles, when Donovan Mitchell doesn't play, is very important. And he was not good tonight. And so that's part of why they lost. The silver lining. Bojan Bogdanovic took 13 threes tonight and hit 7 of them. And they were tough threes. Bojan Bogdanovic scored 30 points tonight. That's exciting, actually. If you want something to be happy about, Bojan Bogdanovic shot the ball. And that's something to be really excited about. And he was hitting threes tonight, and he was shooting it with confidence. There was one 3 where I felt like, 10 games ago, he might have dribbled to the rim because he wasn't confident. I don't know if you guys remember, it was early in the game. He got the ball, kind of bobbled it. He was just open, and no one came out to get him. He just kind of calmly bounced the ball, gotten his form and buried it. And that makes me excited because that means he's confident in his three-point shot. And so when Donovan Mitchell comes back, things are going to be different. The Jazz have to fix the turnovers. They have to fix the effort on the defensive glass. They have to. That's why they lost this game, honestly, among other things. But if Bojan Bogdanovic is hitting that three, that opens things up for Donovan Mitchell like crazy. And so that's something to be excited about for this Jazz game. Guys, that's all I got to say. Make sure that if you're new to this channel, like and subscribe. And if you want to be a part of the chat, hit that join button. And make sure you join the Discord. I try to join the Discord at least once a game. Tonight, I failed. But most games, I try to jump in there a little bit and just give a little thought that I have during the game. It's really fun, though. It's a place to talk to other Jazz fans who are also members of the Hoops Nerd community. Let's give a shout out to our All-Stars tonight. Austin R. Grant, thank you, sir. Eric C., thank you. Kelsey Hammer. Hamer probably is how you say it, but I'm going to call you the Hammer. Donald Shuley, or Schooley. Cody Strickland. Mitt Roebuck. DW to CB. Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer. Jorge Artizaga. Lee Christensen. Shan Therick. Ryan Perry, the legend. Justin Ty H. Thank you again tonight for that donation, Justin. I really appreciate it. Patrick Akubo, my game buddy. Robert Hall. DW. Jazz going all the way. Guys, that's all I got tonight. It's a bad loss for the Jazz, but you guys make it more fun to talk about the game. I don't know. I think the Jazz will be fine, but they got to figure out how to get rebounds and not turn the ball over with Donovan Mitchell gone. And Joe Ingles, if he doesn't play well, it's tough for the Jazz to win without Donovan Mitchell. I think we learned that tonight as well. So guys, like and subscribe to the channel. Join the channel if you haven't. I will talk to you next time.